Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our ego class. Boy, that sounds very strange to say. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls of all ages, today we are going to learn about ego. Let go of my ego. So yes, today's video is to show you the timing and development of ego. At what age does this ego start and why? Because I can just claim that ego starts at this age and this age. What is the logical understanding of that? If I can explain that, then I cannot teach you about ego. So we're gonna learn that why ego is, and this is fascinating. This is strictly dependent upon the last video that I made of decoding astrology, finding the hidden codes of astrology. It is so beautiful. It's not complicated. It's not advanced. It's beautiful. It's a painting. Astrology is really a Michelangelo painting, done by this artist named Rishi Parashara, or maybe many people before him. So we're going to learn as to how ego develops, what time it develops, and the three stages of ego. The three stages of ego. And I'm going to use this light board to show you. And it's going to be a very fascinating, and I'm going to be making a lot more videos. It's so beautiful, man. I have to make these videos. It's just, once the petals open up, then all you do is you smell the flower. So let's talk about ego. Let's get started on it. So first of all, if you are new to my channel and you're wondering what is this little chart of diamonds, well, this is a astrological chart. This is an astrological chart, okay? And what you see here, all these diamonds, okay? These are the 12 houses of the zodiac, because there are 12 zodiac signs. If there are 12 zodiac signs, there have to be 12 houses. You cannot have 13 houses now because of the fact you have the new 13th zodiac. It's not, don't pay attention to that, not right now at all. People can barely understand the basics of classical astrology. How in the world will they keep adding all these new things without even understanding anything from the past? So these are the 12 houses. So what you see here is number 1. See that number 1? That number 1 is actually the house. So this is the first house. And where you see number 2, that's the second house. Number 3 is the third house, all the way to the 12th house. So this represents the 12th house. This is very important, and I just gave you the easiest astrological lesson. So this number 1, see this where it says ascendant? This always is ascendant in this particular chart, this diamond chart, which is a chart of Vedic astrology. So anytime you see this chart, if I ask you where is the ascendant, well, this first box you see right there, that's the first ascendant. That's not the first ascendant, this is the ascendant, the rising sign. Okay? Now, obviously, in Vedic astrology chart, this number 1 may change to number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That does not mean that this becomes the second house or the third house. No, it just shows you the zodiac sign rising. So this is the first house. So instead of 1, if there was a 3 here, that means this is the Gemini ascendant then. This is not the third house. So I'm just clearing that for people who are absolutely oblivious to Vedic astrology and even knowing what houses and charts are. So these are my quick little lesson, and I'm making a mess out of it. So you got to understand this. Why? This is important. Just for this particular video is important to understand. Why am I showing you these houses? Because the concept that I'm going to show you is this. The first house, okay, is known as the first age, the first year. From the moment you born 0 to first year. This is your first year of life. And then this becomes the second year. So this is the first year, this is the second year. Then which one is this year, the third house? Well, that becomes the third year of your life. Fourth year of your life. Fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. 12 years of your life can be seen in this birth chart, the first 12 years of your life. Now, if you want to go to the number 13th year and 14th year, what do you do then? Well, you come back to the first house, which not only is your first year of life, but also becomes the 13th year. Okay? So it becomes the 13th year of your life. So why am I showing you this? This video is about ego. Okay? This video is about ego. When does the ego start? See, first of all, what is ego? Ego is I and my and me. Because if you are alive, if you are breathing, you are an ego. There's no letting go of ego. Ego exists. Ego exists in these sages. Let's say if you take Sadhguru, he's now a world-renowned sage and a spiritual guide. He has an ego because of the fact he wants to teach you something. He says, I want to show you what I know. As soon as they say that, the ego comes into play. So please, when you see this word, ego, okay? This is the most necessary thing for your existence. Don't let go of it. You cannot let go of it. If you are breathing, to the moment you take your last breath, the ego exists. So when a sage tells you, when a guru tells you, let go of the ego, first of all, a sage will not say that. A true sage will not say, let go of your ego. They will probably tell you to bend your ego. Make your ego more humble to understand things. Letting go of ego meaning that you have to let go of this body. You have to let go of this soul. You have to let the soul go from this physicalness. Okay? So now, what is the age when the ego develops? Well, the most prominent age when the ego develops is the first age. This is the first stage of ego. Why is this the first stage of ego? Well, if you watched my last video of decoding astrology, you will know exactly why I'm telling you this. And you have to have understanding of the nakshatras and the chronological order of the nakshatras, the constellation, the 27 lunar mansions in Vedic astrology. So you need to understand that first before you understand anything. And so if you do, and by the way, if you do not know what your ascendant is, all the other planetary placements, all your nakshatras, what nakshatra your planets are in, for that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, Aspects, Mahadashas at the Speed of Light, including all my consultations at this link here. And already I've made videos on nakshatras. So watch that video on YouTube. So why does the ego develops at the age of 2? Well, at the age of 2 is what sign lies originally in the second house. This is the original sign of Aries. See, the number 1 is not just the first house, but it's also considered the sign of Aries. So this is the sign of Aries as well. Then number 2 is the sign of Taurus. So which is the first nakshatra in the sign of Taurus? Well, yes, that's exactly right. The first nakshatra is Kritika. So Kritika Nakshatra resides in the beginning of Taurus ascendant. Nakshatras are the constellation working behind the scenes of a zodiac sign. And which planet rules the Kritika Nakshatra? That is right. Absolutely right. It's the planet Sun. So think of this little star as the Sun. Sun rules the Kritika Nakshatra. What is Sun in astrology? Ego. Now you get my point. Ego begins at the age of 2. At the age of 2, I have 2 daughters who have reached the age of 2. One is 2, with the other one's almost becoming 2. They are starting to, my first daughter is like, no, this is me. I want this. This is mine. My mom. They start identifying at the age of 2. At 1, they have no clue what they are. At the age of 1, all they need is milk, diaper change, and sleep. At the age of 2, my toy, my mom, my dad. Now you understand, the age of 2 is the reason and the logical reason why ego starts. This is the first stage of the ego. Me, my man, me and mine. Why? Because second house, ladies and gentlemen, second house is the house of possession. I have no idea how to spell possession. I'm so bad at spellings. So I'm just going to say possessions. Assets. It's what you value. It's what you store. Just like the 4th house. This is where your money is. This is where your wealth is. This second house. Okay? This is where your money and wealth is. So for a 2-year-old, what is their wealth? Their toys, their family, their Elmo videos. That's their ego. That's the first stage of ego. Then, what is the second stage of ego? Well, if you're smart enough, you'll probably figure it out. The second stage is the 6th age. This is the 6th age because it's the 6th house. Remember, we're going in a chronological order. 6th house becomes the age, the second stage of ego. And what does this 6th age represents in a child? What is the second stage of this ego development? Can anybody tell me? Class? Hey, you. Stop sleeping. Get up. Now I'm going to send you to the dean's office, to Parashara. Get up. The 6th stage represents willingness to fight. At the age of 6 is when the child also starts to fight for its ego and possession. This is mine. If you take mine, I will fight you. I will hit you. 6th age is when your ego starts developing enemies in school. Why school? Because that's the only place where you really interact with people independently. At age of 6, you won't be like going to the park and playing with people. Well, actually in India, I did that at the age of 6 without my parents coming after me. But here, obviously, I'll be keeping a close eye. But in school, because 6th house is what? 6th house is second from the 5th house of education. Right? It is second to it. This is so your education leads you to dealing with competition. So you become competitive. Like, I need to beat you in getting the better grade because I am better than you and I can beat you. I can fight you. So why is the 6th age? the age of ego development? Well, that's because the sixth age, the first sign, the first nakshatra in the sign of Virgo is a nakshatra of Uttara Falguni, which shows that the age of 6, the ego takes the second stage. So when you start, and you'll notice in your own children, the age of 6 is when they really become competitive with other people, not just the people of the family. Sure, kids will fight at the age of 3 and 4 with their siblings and all that, because third house also represents, that age of competitiveness. But sixth house is when your second stage of ego develops, that my ego is even better than the people outside of my family circle. Age of ego. Yes, it is the age 10. The 10th year becomes the third stage of ego, which really sets in tone of who you are going to be till your last breath. Why? Because at the age of 10, the child starts worrying about their status. At the age of 10 is when your ego says, I am richer than you. When the ego says, I want to be a pilot, I want to be a doctor or astronaut or actor or a physicist, a scientist. This is where at the age of 10, everybody asks a child, what do you want to do for your career? Meaning, what is going to be your status in this life? What have you figured out about your status? And obviously, this is most of the time a dumbest question to ask to a child, because they don't even know what they want. Very rarely you will see a child who at 10 dreamed of being an astronaut becomes an astronaut. Because obviously their ego has to be strong. Their ego has to be fixed. Whenever ego is in a fixed sign, in a fixed position, it stays as is. What they believe at 10, they will believe at the age of 60. So this is known as the third stage of ego. Now, why is this the third age of ego? Well, hello. What nakshatra? What is the first nakshatra in the sign of Capricorn? Because look, this number 10 is the sign of, it's not just the 10th house. This is also the sign of Capricorn. And the first nakshatra is Uttara Ashada. Which planet rules the Uttara Ashada nakshatra? That's right, I'll make it again. I'll make the sun for you again. See that? Sun, the sun rays. The sun rules the first nakshatra of the 10th house. So ego is what representing what? What is our ego representing for us? Can anybody tell me? I'll give you guys candies if you can tell me. What does this 3 stages of ego represents? This represents the Artha triangle. The triangle that shows us our value into this world. What is our value? What are we worth? Okay, so this triangle that you see, let me see if I can make it even brighter. I don't know if it's coming on the screen. So the 2nd house, 6th house, 10th house is the house of Artha triangle. Artha triangle. So 2nd house, this is the 6th house, this is the 10th house. The houses which are responsible for development of your ego. So if you want to know if this person has a good ego, meaning a humble ego, a very competitive ego, very rude ego, well, where do you see that? Well, you will see that in the 2nd, 6th, and 10th house. Planets in the 2nd house, 6th house, or influencing any one of these 3 houses will be the development of how they develop their ego. This triangle becomes the triangle of the ego. Ego is what helps us to say, yes, I want money in my life. Ego what helps us say, yes, I can defeat my enemies in this life. And ego is what tells us, yes, I will have a status in this life. I will have a good position in this life. I will have a good career in this life. Start understanding astrology. And this is why, and one thing you have to understand, do not think these are same stages. This is stage 1. This is stage 2. This is stage 3. It's an advanced stage. So it's like your first level of ego, second level of ego, third level of ego. They're completely different from each other. So this is the highest of ego. What am I going to do for the world? The highest impact in the world. Am I going to be a murderer? Am I going to blow up people in a country through my missiles? Or am I going to teach people about dharma? Am I going to teach people about their karma? Am I going to teach people about astrology? Am I going to serve people and make people's lives better? This is why this is the highest. You don't need to worry about your enemies and competition. You don't need to worry about possessions and money because you won't take that after death. What you do take after that is the ego, the action, the karma that you do is what shows what you will become in the future, in your next lives. Perhaps in your next 20 lives, 50 lives, or 50,000 lives. This is why this is the highest of the ego houses. This is the one that you should be concentrating on. This house is the most important house that you need to concentrate on as far as the ego development is concerned. So when they say let go of your ego, doesn't mean that you need to somehow click that button off. They're saying don't go after possession, don't create enemies or have a competitive drive. Simply do the karma. This is astrology 101 with ego. Okay? So hopefully you got this, guys. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below right there. And if you want to know about your reports, my books, consultation, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.